Let the band play.
When it came to protect me, living life with no regrets. Designer when I get dressed. Summertime I wanna fresh. I put her legs behind her head. Night she gonna bed. Bye. Every day it's a new test. I just keep chasing these checks. Living life with no regrets. Living life with no regrets.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the next episode of Sled Talk, or the SledSend podcast. This is episode number 2. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you will see that we have a guest. You'll hear him here in a minute, but I would like to make an introduction to a good friend of mine and fellow riding buddy, Mr. T-Mab. What's up, Thomas? How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm super good, man. Glad to have you on the podcast. I'm excited to have you in here and talk about some sledding.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Totally, dude. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Tom, let's go right into, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? And then we'll dive into some questions about some snowmobiling stuff.
All right, cool. So I'm Thomas Mabbott, Hermiston, Oregon, born and raised. Right now, currently, I'm an electrician apprentice. Living life, it's all good. Love hunting and snowmobiling. Those are my biggest passions. Try to do that as much as I can. I guess only when the snow flies I can ride sleds, but
super unfortunate for us.
Yeah, it's kind of a buzzkill, but we make do with what we got.
Well, I mean, it just makes it that more important to go fucking hard during those 3 or 4 months that we do have.
Oh yeah, and have everything just set up before the season, like all new gear, new sleds, all that stuff.
100%. So speaking of new sleds, you texted me the other day.
Yeah.
Said that you just acquired a new sled.
Yeah, so I was, been riding the old iron for a couple of years, of 2013 M8000 Cat, and she has some wear and tear on her. She's got about 4,000 miles. Everything on that sled's been broken by me, except for anything to do with the motors. So yeah, she's seen better days. So I was kind of hesitant on the Alpha. Ridden my mom's and dad's. They're good sleds, but I wanted the twin rail because I figured if I'm pretty good at breaking 2, I'm definitely going to destroy 1. So I went bought a used 2018 Mountain Cat, lower miles, so it has the new motor, new whatever. So I think it'll fit me pretty good. Getting a wrap ordered for it. Actually, we just bought a wrap. So
yeah,
that's
we
cool.
were just in the other room in the office. We just ordered a wrap. Shout out to
Arctic Effects.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Had to get the Coors Light in there, even though I'm drinking a Michelob now. But
yeah, that's all right.
It's whatever. It's all cool.
Well, cool. So you just ordered a wrap for it. Do you have any other plans as far as what else you're going to do to it, or?
Yeah, I might go with some new Cheetah Racing bars and then exhaust for sure. Might do an Elevate kit one day. I ordered the Choppa from Freshies Built, so I'm doing a 7-inch tunnel cut. It's going to be nice.
Oh, boy. There you go.
And other than that, it's going to be pretty stock, not too much more. I was thinking about a turbo, but I'm kind of a cheap guy, so I don't really want to spend the money.
Yeah, I don't blame you, dude. It'd be super interesting to see. I mean, riding with you the last couple of years, just to see what you would do with a turbo.
Oh my god,
kind of scary a little bit. The shit that you already do.
Oh yeah,
no.
I had to think about that too, because I have a pretty bad time destroying every snowmobile I throw a leg over. So
right.
Yeah.
So Tom, how long have you been riding? When was the first? How old were you?
I think first time I was riding was in British Columbia with my parents. I was 8 months old, strapped to a backpack on my mom. They've been riding. My dad's been riding his whole life. My mom started riding when they were first got together, I should say.
Sure.
I think my first sled was mid-90s, Arctic Cat Kitty Cat.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Then moved up to a 120, and then I had a fan-cooled 340 Polaris Indy Light. That was a badass sled. I wish we still had it for tearing up the fields. The thing was great. Then a Phaser and a ZR440 after that, which I loved that sled, and then an M7, which that's when I really started getting into mountain riding, was when I had the M7, and then I got my mom's hand-me-down sled, which I think I got when I was 15, 16. So I've been riding that sled for quite a long time, put a lot of miles on it, and I love that sled. But she's seen better days.
Yeah.
But no, I've been riding my whole life, and
yeah.
I love it. It's just always been in my DNA.
Right. And so, like, what's like a contributing factor as to what's continuing to push you? Like, why do you want to keep riding? Like, what is it that you are so in love with or attached to that just makes you want to continue to push the sport.
You know, it's just so much fun. I describe to people, especially people that ski and snowboard, and they're like, oh, you just don't know what it's like to be in nature and it's quiet. And I'm like, I get that when I'm hunting, but when you're bombing through a wide open meadow, just 4 or 5 feet of powder, your sled's going just bobbing up and down through the powder, snorkeling.
On a cloud.
Yeah. Oh, I can't describe the feeling. It's the greatest thing ever. And my other passion, hunting, do a lot of backcountry hunting, all that stuff. There was a lot of work involved. And snowmobiling to me is hardly any work, and it's just pure enjoyment the whole time. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
100%. So, no, I couldn't agree more. It's always fun having that conversation with even people that have never been on a sled, right? And just trying to come up with the vocabulary to share what it's actually really like to be in that moment and have that feeling, right? It's like, you just can't describe it, right? You just have to get on a sled and do it. Yeah. So I completely agree with you. So talk about like where all have you ridden, right? So we both live here in Hermiston, Oregon. And so like where are some of the areas that you have ridden? And out of those areas, where was your favorite place to ride?
So just grew up riding Eastern Oregon. So Tollgate, Olive Lake area, outside Enterprise, Halfway, all that kind of stuff. Grew up riding there. Love it. Absolutely love it. We went over to Montana 2 years ago now. That was a lot of fun.
Outside of Seeley Lake.
Outside of Seeley Lake, yes. Snow wasn't great, but it was great tree riding. It was a ton of fun. And I didn't
rode a big burn.
Yeah, that was great. And I'm used to burns in some place that I ride, but nothing like that. Nothing like that. That was great. That was just as far as you can see a giant burn, and that was really fun. Yeah. I didn't get too much riding in that trip. Like I'll say this again, I try to save a nickel wherever I can.
Sure.
And running ethanol fuel in a snowmobile isn't the greatest choice, so my fuel lines rotted out when we got to Montana. So I had about, I think, 5 hours of ride time in, and then the rest I either sat on the trail or just kicking myself. It was great. A couple times I rode your Axis, and that was great. Loved it.
Well, and I had that second one, but Brian was riding that.
Yep.
And then the second day, we came back, and towards the end of it, we had that big bonfire. But before that, I came back early ahead of everybody else and let you rip it there for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
But yeah, that was a bummer. I mean, quite a few people got knocked off. So almost everyone blew belts during that trip.
I blew a belt that trip also.
Yeah, and Kobe did.
Yeah, Kobe did.
But his was like, his belt was like super wedged in the clutches, and we had to take it back to Brady's shop.
Yeah, it wrapped around the clutches, and my sled, I could ride it. I couldn't, if I was facing downhill, would not run. Uphill it would. So I was at, of course, the top of the mountain when it all hit the fan, so I had to just kind of snorkel and ski my way down it. And then it got to the bottom, it would run, and I eventually had to tow Kobe out. So that was a lot of fun. And we were thinking it was something to do with my clutches, just the clutch spacers in there. And no, it definitely wasn't that. But we got Kobe's fixed. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
And Kobe's a crazy rider. He's always fun to ride with. You never know what he's going to do.
Dude, he's wild.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
No care in the world goes for it, which is great.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's good, too, because then it just pushes us, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, totally.
I think it's good. And so, like, for me, last year was really the first year that I really rode hard, right? Like, I think the first time I got on a sled, I was 6. Rode a few times when I was growing up in Montana, but I didn't really get serious into riding until, the last, like, 2 or 3 years, right? And so prior to that, like, I was always, I was breaking the number one rule of snowmobiling, which is don't ever ride by yourself.
Yes.
Right? And I used to do a lot of that. But that was before, like, I really... like I knew who you were. I didn't really know who Cody was at that time. And, Caden wasn't really involved into the snow stuff yet and whatnot. So I really didn't know anybody. And so I just rode by my fucking self. And so that was a big thing for me, especially last year, getting around you guys and stuff, because, there's only so far that you can go as far as like a skill level, right? Like you can watch everything on YouTube and try to learn as much as you can from there and then go out and do it yourself. But then you're kind of like capped out, in my opinion, with your ability versus, I mean, you can continue to, progress and get more advanced and more skillful. But if you're around other people that ride at a higher level than you, that are super encouraging and there to help and teach and all that kind of stuff, like it makes the path for you to get better that much quicker.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like
And
you're just cutting out the...
I'm not a great rider or anything, but the only reason I'm at where I'm at is because
I disagree with that statement. I think you're a great rider.
I'm
You're just
okay.
crazy.
I'm okay. Whatever. But only reason I'm at where I'm at is because I always have my dumbass friends with me saying, "Oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that," or I'm like, "Oh wow, that was cool, Kobe. I'm gonna try something." But of course, I end up breaking an A-arm or something every single time, which is great.
Right.
A lot of fun.
Yeah,
It's cool
totally.
stuff.
Yeah, but no, I think, you know, in all fun and jokes, but like, it's important to do that, right, and get better and push yourself. And so, speaking of that, like, what is, you know, on a big level or even a small level, what is something that, you know, the last couple months, it's middle of November right now, obviously we're getting super excited to go ride and getting everything ready to go and stuff. So like, what's kind of been on your mind the last couple months, as far as like you yourself as a rider? Like, what are you going to try to push yourself towards this up and coming season? Like, do you have like something that you want, like a certain move or something that you want to,
totally,
you know, hit this year? Like, what are you trying to accomplish this
Totally.
season?
I want to figure out how to do a hop over. I've been trying it the past 2 years, and I just can't get down the carving into the hill, not away, turn into the hill, and that's how you get over. Some mental block, complete mental
100%.
block. Oh yeah. And you know, bow ties and all that stuff is cool. I want to do that, but I'm not going to be Caleb Kosturki ever. I mean, I'm not going to be sending off backflips off mountains or nothing.
Yeah.
But no, I just want to get better at tree riding, better at everything.
Yeah.
And I know I will. The past 3 years, just been getting better and better as I'm riding with friends. And so, no, I'm looking forward to this year. It'll be fun.
Totally. Yeah, I totally 100% agree the same, right? I have a probably a much longer list of things that I want to accomplish because I'm, you know, on a much lower level than what you are. But, and so something for me, like, that's interesting is, you know, I've put a couple of dollars into my sled.
Oh yeah.
And
it's a great sled.
The downside to that is that like, there's like this mental state where I'm fucking scared.
Oh, you don't want to break
anything. Shit,
you
right?
don't want to break
you
nothing.
Fucking spend so much money.
Oh, yeah.
And then it makes me such a cautious rider.
Right.
And then it makes me that much scared to watch Cody, watch you, Kobe, whatever, go and do something. And I'm like, fuck. Like, it's not even so much the fear within myself or my capability. Like, I'm not afraid to fucking, like, I want to do it and head first on the fear. That way I can accomplish it and get better.
Yep.
Right. But then my mind starts talking of like, oh, remember that credit card bill that you paid?
And it's spending, you've got a lot of stuff on that sled.
Dude, 100%. And so it has made me a really cautious rider, right? But at the same time, like, this may sound kind of bad, but at the end of the day, it is just money, right? And like, you can buy more parts and you can fix things, sit out a season, whatever, to stock cash. Because like, I do want to get to that next level physically, right? I do want to accomplish those things. I do want to push myself. And also too, like, this year is going to give me just that much more seat time in general, right? Like, I just don't have that much seat time. So like, being able to have the confidence in the sled that you're riding, run the reps, right? Just like working out in the gym or doing stuff at work, you know, running line, wires, and all the electrical stuff that you do, right? The more reps that you do it, the better you get at it, right? So same kind of thing with the snowmobiling. And so that's definitely very much where I'm at. And, you know, this summer I took my sled over to Montana to one of the Ice Age employees to cut the tunnel off.
Yes.
And
that's a little bit more of an adventure than the cats. That's cool.
Yeah. So we'll see, you know, how that is. That was kind of awkward, or not awkward, but weird, loading up my sled in fucking July and then just driving down the highway over to Montana for 8 hours.
What the hell is this guy doing?
Right. But anyways, for backstory for listeners and stuff, I have a lot of family members that still live over there in Montana. That's where I grew up and stuff. And so I was going over there to see them. And I knew that I wouldn't be back before season started, right? So I was just like, fuck it, I might as well just load the sled.
Oh, totally.
Link up with this guy and have him go do it.
And that's not something you want to do half-ass.
No. That's not.
You have to you got to do all that TIG wheel and everything, and that's, you got to
all the pressure testing and all that stuff. Yeah, exactly, right? Because all the other mods that are on it, I did myself. Right. Like, I had to make some phone calls and stuff to the companies. Well, I ordered everything through Chris Brandt, so I had to talk to him a couple times for help. But as soon as the idea of the tunnel cut came up, I was like, I'm not going to do that myself. Like, nah. So took it over and did that. But anyways, like that, I think that'll be a huge game changer in trying to attempt the hopovers and the bow ties and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be really interesting to try out this year. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Speaking of this season, where are we going to go this year? Where are we going to try to? We're going to try to do a trip back to Montana.
Back to Montana, we got hit McCall. Got to go halfway some more. That isn't a huge trip, but
well, dude, the halfway trip didn't go so well for you.
Yeah,
when we went over there.
Speaking of the halfway trip, well, we rode. What's that? What's the technical name of that area we were riding? What is that? In LeGrand, outside of LeGrand. Earlier
Catherine
that day.
Creek.
Yeah, so we were riding Catherine Creek, and it was fun. It was great, and my sled started making some weird vibrations, and I was like, I've got 4,000 miles on this sled. I think my clutch might be going out here soon. So I loaded it up, and in the parking lot, everybody's like, yeah, let's go to halfway, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Of course, like that's what I was here to do. I wasn't working at the time.
Yeah,
and so we loaded up, and I had my F-150. And pulling that sled, and she also had high miles on her. that was a hand-me-down pickup also. Yeah. And we were like 10 miles outside of halfway, and threw the timing out of it. So I was like, okay, now my truck's going bad too. So we got to halfway, whatever. Woke up.
Stayed the night there.
Yeah, stayed the night. I wake up. My truck barely started. It's just sitting there vibrating, smoking all over the place. And I'm like, good God, this is just fucking Thomas Mabbott shit right here.
100%.
It doesn't matter what the hell I'm doing. And even when I try to be responsible, just something stupid happens to me. And it's karma. Like, it all boils down to me. Like, that's just who I am.
Sure.
Just shit happens. And
we're all aware.
Yeah.
we plan accordingly.
Oh, yeah, shit. Oh, fuck. Anyways, got up to the parking lot, and I barely made it up there with my pickup. And I was like, you know what? Actually, I did have work in the morning. I was working at the farm. So for the viewers, I was electrician apprentice for a year, and just so they kind of get the timeline.
100%.
Whatever. Oh, yeah. Decided I wanted to try out lineman school. After lineman school wasn't working, whatever, so went back to work for the farm that I was working at summertime. Family, friends, great people, love them. And it was there a couple months, and I was like, you know what? I want to be an electrician again. I'd like it. And since I went back to work, I loved it. But anyway, so get up to the parking lot. I'm like, I have work in the morning, and everybody's unloading their sleds. And I'm like, God, I know what's going to happen. We're going to get way the hell back out there, and someone's going to tow me out. Someone's going to miss a day of riding. I didn't want that burden on my shoulders. So I made the decision, I'm glad I did, to go back that morning, try to make it back home. And I was calling buddies, Caden, so your nephew.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
My nephew?
Yeah.
My cousin.
Your cousin, my bad. Shit. Yeah, that just shows how dumb I am. But, nope. And, he has a big pickup and had access to a...
big trailer.
Yeah, big trailer, big gooseneck. And I was like, hey, could you meet me in LeGrand? I don't think my pickup's going to make it back. And so going down the freeway, speed limit was 70 and full pin, max 50. And it's smoking. I got semis passing me. And it's just, if anybody's ever had a timing chain skip a link, especially on F-150s that I have, it just vibrates all over the place. No power, nothing. Great time. So I get it back to LeGrand, and it's smoking all over the place. So we meet up at a buddy's house there. We get my pickup loaded, leave the trailer there. I had a buddy who was just so happened to be in LeGrand and heading back towards Hermiston that day. He grabbed my trailer. Well, long story short, we get that back home and took it off the trailer, my pickup, parked it in front of the shop, and my dad went out to start it the next day, and it bent a rod or been a valve. So, I mean, I was done. Yeah. I couldn't have made it back to Hermiston. But, yeah, I've got a lot of stories about breaking shit while snowmobiling.
I know you do, and we're going to get into a couple of those. But I just for the viewers, right, I just want to share my story of halfway. So after you left, it was our buddy Kobe and our other buddy Cody that is going to be on another episode here shortly. And then it was one of It was Kobe's buddy, Josh. That
Yep.
was with us. Not your buddy. It was Kobe's. So there was 4 of us, and I'd never been.
Oh,
to
hold on
halfway.
1 sec, and keep in mind, I'm with 2 diehard Polaris guys. One and Tyler was a big Polaris guy, but not diehard. So the whole time in my ear, buy a fucking Polaris. Shouldn't have bought a cat. You suck. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, come on. I mean, I've got 4,000 miles. You guys get 1,500 out of yours at best. But nah, I'm just playing.
Well, I think
I'll
I was
get
even
stuff.
giving you shit about having a fucking Ford too.
Oh
so-
yeah, God, you
which
gotta-
is better than a Dodge, I suppose. But.
anything's better than a Dodge.
Anyways, so yeah, the 4 of us unload and we go out there, and that was my first time in Halfway. It was fucking incredible. That place is amazing.
It's amazing riding.
Incredible snow, blue skies. Like, it was an amazing day.
Yep.
So I just had to rub that in your face since you had to fucking drive back.
Yep.
But no, Halfway was good fun. Definitely want to go back there again this year
Oh, totally.
for sure.
Wasn't there a trailer story? About losing a trailer?
I don't.
Yeah.
That's on you. I don't know if that's public information.
Oh no.
Needs to go out there.
Let's just spill the beans. So while we're on this topic of me breaking shit,
Leave this the last story because we'll share more stories on another episode.
Okay.
But leave this for the last funny story.
so me and Caden, we were heading to Enterprise. We've got a lot of buddies over there, and they ride hard. They are very good riders, and they live 30 minutes from the snow. So after work, whatever, after school, when they were in high school, they just load up
Every
and
day.
ride. Oh,
Yeah.
lucky guys.
Fuckers.
Yeah, fuckers. Anyways, well, me and Caden, bad snowstorm, and we're like, screw it, we're going. We already made this plan, but freeway was supposed to be closed. We made it up over. Well, we were driving my dad's pickup. Of course, everybody's like, man, this guy just bums off his parents, but a little bit. I mean, I live at home. so-
Beside the point.
yeah,
it's another
beside the
Ford.
point. Yeah, this 7.3 though, she runs. Okay. But so the 2-place trailer was my grandpa's, so he rode sleds also. And anyways, I'm not gonna get into the trailer, but it was 2-place trailer. We had my sled on the driver's side, Caden's snow bike tied down with ratchet straps on the passenger side.
Okay.
Driving down the freeway, and I was going like 71, 72. It was fine.
Yeah.
And went to pass a semi. He was in the right lane. I get in the left, and we kind of hit these bumps. We're outside of LeGrand, and if you're going under the overpasses, there's some little bumps in the road. Well, we get I'm perfectly parallel in line with this semi. We go over one of those bumps and whoosh, feel the weight come off. Boom. Just fucking like this. And Caden was on the phone with my buddy. He's like, Riley, I gotta go. We just bounced the trailer. And this thing's taking me all over the freaking road. I mean, right, left, right. And I look back, and I remember one time I looked back, and there's sparks were 20 feet in the air. I swear to God, from that tongue dragging on that asphalt or pavement, whatever. I'm going all over the road. I don't know how I didn't hit this semi, but I was just kind of hitting the brakes a little bit. So a semi went blowing on past. He was probably like, holy shit, who are these hillbillies? What the fuck just happened to them?
Yeah.
Anyways, I get pulled off the freeway, and we're like, fuck. Holy shit, we just lost a sled. We bail out, turn the hazards on, and I look back, and my sled, so you got the ski bar tying it down.
Right.
Parking brake was on, but with all that shit going on, it moved forward and moved off. So it was hanging off the front of the trailer and to the side, and the left ski was dragging down the freeway. Caden's snow bike, of course, is in perfect condition, like nothing.
Sure.
Anyways, so we yanked the sled off there. We kind of rolled it over, shimmied it off, whatever. There was just so much adrenaline running through me. I think I could have lifted that up with one arm if I needed to. And I'm not very strong, by the way, but and there was some shit in my pants also. But yeah. And we dug all the gravel out of the tongue, and that was an adventure itself. We had to find a screwdriver in the bed of my dad's pickup just to dig the gravel out. And crazy thing was, the only thing that broke on that was the ski tie down, the ski bar, and one of the trailer wires. It was like the left turn signal or something.
Sure.
But
Fortunate. That's all it was.
Oh, we got lucky. We got lucky. And normally I'd be the guy to forget to have the safety chains on the trailer too. So we got really lucky there. Anyways, me and Caden got it off, and we're like, okay, this isn't as bad as it looks. And we finally got the trailer back on. loaded up the sled in the median of the freeway, and on to Enterprise we went. We had a great weekend of riding. So
And the sled ran just fine that whole weekend.
Purred like a kitty. Let me tell you what, she was good.
There you go.
Golden.
Dude, that's great. Oh my gosh. Well, tons of more stories to come. Let's wrap this up. Tom, I appreciate you coming on here and giving a little introduction.
Thanks for having me.
You're about to be on the next episode. So the
Sweet.
viewers and the listeners will get to hear more of your stories and such. And then, as we go throughout the season, I mean, we're just going to rack up even more stories and continue to have you on the show. And
oh yeah, we're going to be in here 2 nights after our Sunday ride.
there you go.
Back in here telling stories about me breaking shit.
100%. We're going to get Jeff out there to film some of it too. So hopefully we can put some fuck up clips right over as we're talking about it on the podcast and see what we can come up with.
That'd be sick.
So, all right, well, let's wrap this up. Listeners, I appreciate you guys tuning in on whether you're on podcast or Spotify or watching on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification button, comments, all that stuff. It helps us keep moving forward. And there's tons of content to come. So again, Tom, I appreciate you jumping on here. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.